Thanks for stopping by our Teacher Pay Teacher store. My name is Jason with Algebra Help Desk. Here's our introduction to literal equations. There's 31 slides here. Let me show you what you're getting. So obviously we got our title page, Solving Literal Equations. We begin with the warm-up. The warm-up is solving equations with variables on both sides. What I particularly like about it is there's a discussion question here. How would you go about solving for x with x plus 4y? Hopefully the kids can say, oh, you subtract 4y. If they can get that, they've got literal equations because we solved this for x. And then what does it mean to call a person literal? Well, people who are literal, they're straightforward, they're frank, they're truthful. In mathematics, literal just means truthful, so it's a good conversation to relate mathematics to the real world. We have learning objectives. You're going to define a literal equation. You're going to use inverse operations. So we start off by solving for y. I always like to ask students, well, what's your goal? Well, the goal is to get y by itself. Notice this is a pretty straightforward, should be a pretty easy problem. You subtract 2x from both sides, and then we'll just click through the slides here. Next one's a little bit more complicated. You subtract 4x, divide by 2. We show all the steps here. And how I like to do this is show the kids the problem and see what they come up with. See if they can explain it before showing them the steps. So if they can, popcorn out, brainstorm what it is to solve that problem, and then they see it done systematically, it helps it stick. Now we're going to ask the question, can we solve this equation for any variable? Yes, you can. So, and currently it's solved for m. I'll show them how to solve for x, maybe even have a class discussion, show them the steps. Now on their own or with a partner, small group, have them solve for z and y. So once again, it's the same equation, so there's nothing new, so they're able to focus on the steps, the mechanics of the problem. Next, I ask them, well, what about multiplication? Could we solve this for y or z? Yes, we can. If we solved it for y, we would divide both sides by z. And then here, we're redoing it. This next one here, I set this up because it looks complicated, and it's really not. Because as teachers, we know these threes will cancel out. I just want kids to be accustomed to seeing complicated problems and not freaking out about them. So I just throw that in there. So we cancel out the threes, and now we have an easy problem. Now we're going to give them some practice time. We're going to have them solve these equations for y. The reason we're using x and y a lot in this introduction lesson is I want to get students prepared for linear equations. So when they have to go from, say, point slope to slope intercept, they're already used to solving for y. They've already seen it and experienced it. In the next literal equation lesson, I would use scientific formulas or distance equals, rate times, that sort of stuff. Finally, we've got interactive match the answer to each problem. So put this on your Google Classroom or whatever learning management program you guys use, and they're able to interact with it. Once again, this could be individual, it could be small group, think, pair, share, and then we end with the nexus slip. These are the 31 slides. I hope you find it useful. It's $2.99, so it's pretty affordable. And you've got a warm-up, you got an exit slip, and you got interactive activities. Most importantly, you can edit it. If you have any more questions or concerns, just let me know, and I'll be glad to answer and address anything that you may have. Have a good day.